In 1791, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were ratified. James Madison wrote the amendments, which he called the Bill of Rights, to increase the constitutional protection for individual liberties. The First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peacefully and to petition their government. This amendment was made to protect citizens from being abducted by the government, as the King of England did over his people. Even though 200 years have passed since the amendment was written, it is still protecting the basic rights of many people. One of the most recent court cases involving this amendment happened in 2005 between the McCreary County and the American Civil Liberties Union of Kentucky. The ACLU sued the three Kentucky counties for displaying copies of the Ten Commandments in courthouses and public schools. They argued that this act violated the First Amendment, which prohibits the government from promoting a specific religion. David Souter, the former Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, announced that the majority held that the display violated the First Amendment because their purpose was to pass on religious beliefs to others. Another court case relevant to the First Amendment happened in 2000, when a Catholic family sued the Santa Fe High School Student Council chaplain. The student used to deliver a prayer over the public address system before each football game. The Catholic family complains that this prayer violated the First Amendment, which gives people the right to practice any religion without the interference of other people. They claim that giving a religious speech in a public school was going against the amendment. The court announced that this act did violate the First Amendment because the prayers at the football games were public speeches authorized by the government policy. The court's opinion was that these kinds of speeches were not considered private, therefore it violated the First Amendment. The two court cases that were shown as an example were all about religious rights. However, the most important right stated in the First Amendment wasn't discussed yet, which is the freedom of speech. Nowadays, this right is becoming a controversial issue. The two problems that are arising because of this right are fake news and hate speech. We can clearly see this problem in a court case that happened in 2007. On July 23rd, Mr. Alvarez, a member of the Three Valleys Water District Board of Directors, attended a meeting with the Walnut Valley Water District Board of Directors. There, he stated that he is a retired Marine and was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. However, this statement was completely false, as Mr. Alvarez had never served in the U.S. Armed Force, nor received any kind of medal. The Central District of California charged Mr. Alvarez in violation of the Stolen Valor Act, which makes it a crime to falsely claim of military medals or achievements. Mr. Alvarez appealed to the U.S. court claiming that this violated the First Amendment to free speech. The court stated that this violated the amendment because Congress made this act too broadly, and applying criminal punishment for speech that did not harm anyone was unjudicial. Then, if a speech harms someone either in physical or mental ways, is it considered illegal? The problem is that it is not, because of course, due to the First Amendment. In 1942, the Supreme Court ruled that hate speech is legally protected under the First Amendment, which guarantees the right of free speech. This is ironic because the First Amendment, which are made to protect people's rights, were actually harming them. We can see how this is happening in a court case that was held in 2010. The family of a dead Marine named Lance Matthew Cinder sued the Westboro Baptist Church who protested at his funeral. The church displayed signs that said, "Thank God for dead soldiers," and flag troops at Cinder's funeral. The family accused the church of privacy invasion and increasing mental distress. This was a clear act of creating emotional pain as well as disrespecting the family of a dead soldier. However, the U.S. court ruled that the church will not be charged with any criminal punishments because their freedom of speech is protected under the First Amendment. Hate speech is increasing in the United States because the First Amendment is protecting it, and the court has no choice but to allow people to say whatever they want. We cannot deny that the First Amendment is protecting our rights. We can talk about politics in the streets and receive information in many aspects thanks to the First Amendment. People can practice any religion they want, and they can participate in making the United States a better place. An example of this is the petition for Karma the Husky. The petition author, Dana, collected 36,002,500 signatures to demand that the Orange County Animal Control should not kill a dog whom the government assumed to be part wolf. The petition ultimately saved the animal's life, and she was sent to a rescue in North Carolina. However, the First Amendment is also allowing people to harm each other by hate speeches and fake news. Then how could you fix the amendment to make it benefit everyone? The First Amendment should put a limit on the freeness of speech. A more reasonable amendment to the First Amendment might look like this. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise therefor, or abridging the freedom of speech, unless the declaration harms an individual in either physical or mental ways, or of the press, or of the right of people peacefully to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The First Amendment has protected the rights of people since it was made, and will do so for many years to come. There might be a few mistakes in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but it doesn't matter. The United States has fixed its errors as it grew, and it will keep doing so as it becomes a more perfect country.